Commissioner, can you hear us so we could test sound?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome, and we can hear you well. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. Commissioner
Good
McKee.
morning.
Good morning. All right, we have a quorum, so I'd like to call to order the June 8th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Election Board. Note the presence of all three members of Election Board. I'd like Tom to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Oh, gee, for those of
Read
you,
it out.
I want to really change it up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. All right. Any opening election board comments? Hearing none. Any public comment? No public comment. All right, I'm gonna invite Frank Dean up to
Didn't
talk
even
about the
recognize him.
certification of the 2026 primary election.
Morning, Election Board. The Pennsylvania Election Code requires counties to certify the election results by the third Monday following the election. Prior to certification, we must close our canvass and tabulation results and rest for a 5-day waiting period wherein recount petitions may be filed. We closed last week on June 2nd and completed the first signing on the same day. We are at the end of the 5-day period and no recount petitions have been filed. At this time, I am asking the board to certify the election results for the 2026 primary election.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. I'd like to make a motion to certify the results of the May 19th, 2026 primary election. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? I'll just say, thank you to your team for all the great work that you're doing in the lead up to the certification. A lot of people don't fully understand all that goes into running our elections in Montgomery County. So before
Thank
we
you so much.
move to a vote, I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just add one quick thing, which Frank, I think you said the statute says that you have to quote rest for 5 days. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you rest?
a little bit. It caught my breath, it's, as Commissioner Winder mentioned, there's a lot of behind the scenes efforts. And we're just fortunate we have a great team downstairs. So it's always a pleasure.
Awesome. You do have a great team. So thanks for all that you do. I'd like to get 5 days rest. So how do we work that into? So we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Any closing board comments?
Just if you want 5-day rest, you need to be COO of the county.
Yeah.
Two quick comments. One is, Frank, as always, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Always accessible, dealing with issues that popped up. So thank you for that. I think moving forward, I want to recommend that, I think that we should have some type of, on the website, some kind of like schedule, high level schedule published so that working our way through, so people, because they don't understand the entire election process.
Right.
So in the loop, when there's no information coming out, it makes it look like nothing's happening. And I think if we had a schedule and at a very high level, like here's the major milestones, right? And we're kind of tracking through that, giving updates as we're moving along. I think it would alleviate a lot of misconceptions out there, a lot of calls that we get, like what's going on, and you know, because I've was at enough meetings in the last week or so, different things where I kept hearing about what other counties are done. And my response was, that's not true. The other counties are following the same election schedule we're following. I used military ballots as an example, saying, I said, I believe, I said, Wednesday was the last day for military ballots, I believe it was. And I said, and I think it's like 11:59 PM at night or something like that. I said, so by time well, now that's finalized, and then there's things that have to like, be completed, and then there's the first signing. I said, and then we have to wait for 5 days before we could certify the election. I said, this is the same process, this is the same schedule of events that every other county throughout Pennsylvania has to follow. We don't make it up. I don't believe we make any of these things up. So I think that it would be beneficial for all of us if we just had a high level schedule of events, milestones, whatever you want to call it, but as we're working through, showing, you know, where things are at. I know that there was an enormous amount of write-in ballots that had to painfully go through each one. I'm surprised when I saw the final results, Mickey Mouse didn't make it into any position again this year.
He probably did. That was someone that we instructed folks not.
Not right. But I think it would be beneficial if we actually just had something on the,
Sure.
Showing that, here's the milestones as we're working through it. You list each milestone and just say complete or whatever. We could come up with some mechanism which showing the entire, 2 weeks or 3 weeks of, activities that are going on. Because, people start to believe like nothing's happening, or we're just sitting on our laurels, or for some reason we're not California. So for some reason, we're not, finishing up, within a reasonable amount of time.
I'll be happy to put something like that together.
And I know that I know that there's gonna be further conversation about, I know we're digging into the whole e-poll book, the issues that we experienced on election day. And I know that there's things that as a county, I just want to say that publicly, that we're aware of it. We're looking at the problems that existed. We're looking at the root causes, and we're going to be, as a county, addressing it as we're moving forward. I don't want people to think that we're not doing anything with that either. We're fully aware of the problems that which is, first major rollout. What we have 900 and some ebooks out there. So more to come on that, I would suspect.
Any other comment?
Yeah, I'll just say I agree. I think it would be helpful, Frank, to make public. There's a lot of details that are in people's heads, and like the first signing, nobody publicly really knows what that is, what it means, and when we have a very close election like in the 148th.
Hello?
Commissioner?
Okay.
Commissioner, can you hear us?
Okay.
He's unmuted.
I think generally, the county has an obligation to help educate our constituents on various things that we have in our portfolio of services. So I think much like we've done on some other topics, maybe just in the lead in to the general, helping people understand how like county the operations work around elections, and we can be thoughtful in terms of what that looks like, because not everybody comes to this board meeting, but we could do something that, you know, just even cast a wider net to the electorate, as well. And even if we do something, do like a webinar, I know we have done the town halls, but maybe if we do a webinar, just, you know, county elections 101, you know, not political, but just something that's educational. So we could maybe we'll talk about what that looks like. So good idea.
Yeah, sorry I cut out,
Go-
but I
go
was
ahead.
basically, I was just agreeing. I mean, I think it's really helpful, and I think when I said the 148th, it's, you know, when we have very close elections, everyone wants to know every detail, and we should just always have it available.
Absolutely. All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the June 8th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Election Board. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?